You want details? Fine. I drive a Ferrari 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid. So, now you know what's possible. Let me tell you what's required.
Our email address is lifeadvicerr@gmail.com. Welcome to those of you just joining us. We have Kyle. Kyle, a couple stats from you. Because we have a new listener, like the audience is growing. So, if you could sum yourself up in one sentence, what would it be?
Huge heart.
Honestly, I don't even know if anybody else should go. It was so good. It was 2 words. Insatiable. So, Rudy?
Maybe like everybody relax. Like I'm a calming presence for
Not a
many
virgin.
people. Yeah. Congrats,
Proof.
not a virgin.
Not a virgin.
But yeah, feels about right.
I think we're all waiting for Ryan now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of put myself on the spot. I think when I'm introduced at some sort of retirement function, they'll just go, he was right.
No notes.
Stay humble,
The chances of me being honored at anything like that,
Still a life celebration.
yeah, I don't know that because I think if you stayed at like a corporate structure, like if I had made it like 30 years at ESPN, maybe they would put a graphic of you on Sports Center. Like it wasn't on the show a lot, but after the layoffs, we used them a ton on the early morning Sports Centers. But
Nobody worked harder.
Here's a Mickey Mouse statue. Yeah.
Yeah. That one used to drive me nuts when they would send me the statue and it was off by like 6 years of how long I'd actually worked there from like head count to whatever. They'd be like, hey, your pin is upstairs. I'd be like, I don't care. Anyway, let's go. All right. We had some people on the Stolen Valor. Overwhelming response in support of our guy wearing the EMT shirt. Like,
good.
We didn't even get, you always get a few people trying to come up with the argument of like why you shouldn't do that. We had a guy check in, firefighter here, sending a picture of himself fully decked out, all the gear. Looks like he's coming right off a shift. Terrific look from our guy here. Longtime listener, first time emailer. I have no problem with someone who's not fire department related wearing a fire department shirt. A badass shirt is a badass shirt. A little background on me is I've been a career fireman for the better part of a decade. I could see Sir Rudy, local union fire department cutoff, whenever he does something manly around the house. I could see Kyle crushing an LAFD shirt, frolic on a Tuesday. Russillo could be seen at your local LA Fitness, probably not LA Fitness, but with a FD t-shirt in which the arms are hugging the sleeves. I have some FD merch from my department. If interested, just send me the sizes and I'll send you some gear. Cheers, bros. We will get that. You'll be hearing from Kyle.
That really seemed like an alternative career path for me. It might still, if this all falls down, I might see if there's any openings. Maybe start volunteer, work your way up. But who doesn't like
schedule something? Did you ever look into the schedule and how it works? I have a few buddies that are on fire.
Well, yeah, my stepdad was a Yonkers Fire for 30 plus years, and I don't know. He'd be like, going away for 2 days, and the boys were gonna get some lobster. We're gonna do some steaks. They just got a new 80-inch TV at the firehouse, and listen, he sees some terrible shit. But my mom would just be like, "Oh, you're going on vacation for 2 days," which little backhanded. We appreciate your service, but that guy had a blast most days, I think.
Yeah, that'd be something we haven't even thought about as a solution for some of the friend lists that email in.
Volunteer, man.
Just join the fire department, and then all of a sudden you have buddies, and they do a lot. It seems like there's a downside, obviously, on the risk part of it. So it's not just the gear and the camaraderie and cooking. Because I have my buddy
You're
Dave.
not playing Xbox all day. Yeah,
Dave is a firefighter in Florida. He's also an inventor of an incredible wrench, the fast wrench. He found an inefficiency in the way wrenches were used and invented this thing, and it's unbelievable. So big shout out to Dave, who's one of our favorites we all love dearly. But he sent me some fire department stuff from his station, and I think I even set it out on the ESPN set. I may have even worn it a little bit. So that I think is all very, very normal. I think when it comes down to the staff part of it is when. But I do think like all of us, like when you're a kid, is the same thing as like watching CAT equipment. Like there's another version of wherever my path takes me where I just want to get a Bobcat and build a wall that I never, ever, and that's not about immigration. I'm just going to have property where I would build a wall
Just
and
leveling
never
your
finish
lawn
it.
every 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, what would be nice there's a little brook. Like, all right, order the backhoe attachments to this and just have the attachments, and then they would rust outside of a barn, and then I'd have a blue tarp with some bungee cords around them after they were already rusted and it was probably too late. But I could see that. I could see myself doing that. But I think sometimes when you think about being on the fire, again, I'll talk to friends that have done it. They're like, yeah, everybody leaves out the part where you have to like go to some old guy's condo.
Yeah.
It's just he's old, and that's why you're called there. And you also have to do all of that stuff too. It's not just, although I guess you're still a hero, because that guy needed help. But they leave that part out of the ads, probably the recruitment ads.
Yeah.
Boy, that got somber. All right. I apologize.
Thanks for your service.
Yeah. Okay. When do I tell someone to turn the volume off of their phone? Oof, good luck if you have the answer. I don't even think I have the answer to this one. Okay, here we go. 6'205" pickup comp, Wilt Chamberlain in 2004. I like what he did there. Currently, this guy not a virgin. Is this what this guy's saying? Currently in line at the post office, four teller windows open with only one teller present. I'm number 6 deep. This is live action. This is a diary entry. There's a woman standing waiting in one of the other teller windows in her 60s. She's scrolling Facebook and watching videos. Each video she opens, the volume is loud. I'm jolted each time she opens one and cringing, listening to a gymnastics commentator talking about missing the vault landing, hearing a new recipe for gluten-free cookies, and learning this one secret hack to make your Social Security stretch longer. Everyone in line is visibly frustrated with the noise. I think the guy in front of me strained his orbital muscles with the amount of eye rolling. When and how is it appropriate to say anything? By the time you read this, assume that I'm stuck in this endless line. 6 deep, not great. Yep. So it sounds like we've got 4 windows. One is being attended to, and then you have somebody else who's probably on their break.
Classic
because we all know, right? You run in, hey, I'm on my break. There have been times where you probably feel like you should be able to say something, maybe even justified. Counter eating at a breakfast place. You ever run into that? Pretty busy counter. You got the old newspaper going. Maybe you're scrolling because technologically, you're a bit more advanced. That's when you're kind of like, do you need to watch that? Like, have you ever heard of earbuds? I would tell you the balls it would take for someone to tell a post office employee to turn down the volume on the phone when you're doing a drive-by visit and you're probably not going to be there again. I don't think that's your place. I think you have to sit there. I think it's part of the deal. You have to suffer. It's never fun. It's part of the suffering. Just add it to the experience. And it's not your place because you don't work there.
Yeah, because this is specific to the post. I treat the post office like it's an airplane and we're 30,000 feet in the sky. I don't make waves. There's always someone else who's had it up to here. You know what I mean? And it's hard to pick out that guy in a line when you're 6 deep or woman. For the post office in particular, I'm very cordial. I try to keep the eye rolls to a minimum. Sometimes if I don't watch myself, I'll let out like a big sigh. You know what I mean? When it's just like, this is going nowhere. People waiting in line to then just be sent to go fill out a form. And it's like everyone's on edge. I treat the post office like, shit could pop off at any second. There's like a famous, going postal or whatever. I just don't, the post office is just different for me. But everywhere else, yeah, I think I'm probably just sighing and rolling my eyes. I don't think I'm going to go up to someone and can you stop what you're doing? That's not a big enough inconvenience for me. It's annoying. Stay strapped, bring your headphones, and then, just get lost in that.
Stay strapped.
Yeah.
Right phrasing.
All right. Well, I guess I'm done.
You never know what's going down at the post office, I guess. I think Kyle's right. There are situations where, like, if you're on like a train, or a
big problem on the
ride
bus
for some reason, and somebody's just blasting a podcast out loud because they forgot their headphones. Like, I think everyone's within their right to say something. Be like, hey, dude, like, figure it out. This isn't the place for this. You're gonna have to just kind of raw dog this flight if you don't have headphones. But post office it's not the same amount of time. People are kind of moving around. I think you might be
Everyone's
kind of
frustrated.
Yeah, and Kyle's kind of right. Like, you don't know like what the blowback could be. The one thing that you probably do know is like everybody else is kind of frustrated. So if you do say something, you're probably going to be like a mini hero to some of those people. But again, are you going to ever see those people again? Does it really matter to you? Like, I don't think the post office is a big enough spot to do this. There are other spots where I would, but not the post office.
I know when I said earlier too, like you're kind of at the mercy of what they want you to experience. You know, it feels very DMV-ish. It can, depending on which one you go to. And I think as I was saying, I could just hear somebody saying, well, they actually work for us. Good luck trying that approach out.
Yeah.
In the post office, especially if it's your local and you have to go in. I don't know much, you know, I think visits to the post office in general under a certain age are pretty rare. I don't know what it is. Like whenever I go in there, I think average age has got to be like 78.
Yep.
Whenever I'm there, I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's just something to do when you get older and you're like, maybe
the olds love it. They go parsing through the stamps. Be like, well, what did you get anything new? Like I just totally forgot. There's people that really look forward to seeing what kind of new stamps they have, and it's like, of course thare in front of me. They couldn't be behind me, and she's just
they're keeping stamps in business.
It's ridiculous.
You just go in and you're like, I'm under 200. What are you doing today? Like I'm at 188 stamps. I gotta get in there.
Yeah,
you never know what
you get any new florals in.
If shit goes down.
I have the lilies. Yeah, I have
the 4th of July
already.
edition. Oh man, we got Uncle Sam.
Insane.
We can't pass this up.
You guys heard of baseball cards? What the hell?
Thought you liked America. What are with these? What's with these giraffe stamps?
That's a good question though. Like, wait, how many times this in like a calendar year do you think you actually go to the post office? Mine is under 5 for sure. Maybe 2. I don't go
planning
very
the wedding.
Often at all.
I went a couple times planning the wedding, but outside of that, yeah, it's usually like, hey, I'm going on vacation. Can I place this hold? And then can I go pick it up? It's usually it.
I go more than you think.
Just business.
No, I'm big on
older, you know?
Yeah, right. What are we talking about here? Can't wait to start going more. I send a lot of stuff to friends.
And you choose USPS.
I do. I've got my little routine up here. I'm never good though. I'm never, I don't know that I've ever even been a 7 out of 10 because I usually like I'm wrapping up the box ahead of time, which is nice. I mean, the old people will look at you and be like, you fucking didn't even wrap this thing. Like, you're already checking the price and you're trying to figure it out. Is this the right address? No, it isn't. Especially if you're sending something to Martha's Vineyard, there's always like a delay of like, okay, but there's no, what is this? Like, you can't use that street address. It doesn't really even exist. I'm like, but it does. Someone does live there. But they just don't always have mailboxes. But I do send, like, I got the Luca jersey, shirt jersey. That they gave out. Yeah. So nice. The night of Staples Center, I'm not wearing it, but I'm sending it to one of my friend's kids. Nice. So I got to make sure I get this. So I am in there a little bit more, and I'm like going through a closet clean out. I'll give my dad a bunch. He loves, as he gets older, he loves the long sleeve workout shirts.
What was the size on those shirts? Were they just XL across the board? Just to be safe?
They were pretty big.
Yeah.
Are they yellow? Just the yellow ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice. I mean, as far as a free t-shirt goes, they're pretty nice. You know what else? Shout out to Lakers fans. I noticed that, there wasn't somebody who sat down ahead of time and decided to grab 7 of them. Right. And then you get to your seat like a little before tip off. You're like, oh, no way. My shirt is gone. I thought for sure that would probably happen. Maybe upstairs, maybe on some of the vertical route seating areas. It was a little bit more of a free for all. Yeah. I'd imagine there's a few people that got there maybe 5 minutes into tip off. You're like, I guess I'm not getting a shirt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, post office. Good luck. Okay. I love this one. Do I demote myself? We love self-awareness. Hello, Ryan, Cerruti, Kyle, and now Wargon. Great addition to the team. Mike, you have anything to say about that compliment?
Love compliments. Keep them coming. Gas me up.
There you go. 5'10", no gym stats, but my jiu-jitsu record is climbed.
The best part, if you're not watching this, like Wargon he pops on the video and then he pops right off. It's great.
No one likes closing out a video more than he does. All right. So this guy, my jiu-jitsu record has climbed to 10-3 since my last email. Okay, so we get a 2-time emailer here who's also a badass. I have a bit of a problem at work that I could use some help with. Currently, I'm a full-time salesman and a part-time student. Okay, important. I'm finishing my degree in Kyle's hometown, which requires me to commute from New Jersey to be in person twice a week. My last class that I have to be in person for, the rest will be online. I expect to finish my degree end of the calendar year. All right. My problem is sales is a commission-based salary, and I am not selling underlined. While I think I could be good at it, I'm just simply not selling compounded with my school schedule that I expect to have this year. I find it hard to hit my target sales goal of $300,000. A solution that I've thought of is going to my boss and asking to be demoted from sales to our furniture installation team. As of now, we have an evolving door of installers who do not show up, are lazy, or come in with convenient excuses to do limited work. This has resulted in me over the last year filling in for the lackluster help. I've done everything except put the actual furniture together. My idea is that I go to my boss, also, and present him with the solution. It will provide me with a steadier schedule in regards to school-work balance, gives my boss labor that he can rely on, as well as give me in-depth knowledge of what I've been selling. My idea is that I do this until I finish my degree and go back to full-time sales. I'm not sure how he would take this or how to present it. Any idea would be very helpful. P.S. I've been to 2 live shows, and every time so far I've raised my drink to Kyle and got a head nod and kept it moving. Is that a top-tier fan interaction? You remember this guy, Kyle?
Sounds great.
I could see a few head nods along the way. Okay, this is why I love this. I'm thinking about you as a part-time, age-wise. Did we get an age here again? Let's double check here. We don't think we got an age. All right, but full-time salesman, part-time student. So
Probably grad student then, you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking grad student age. I'm not thinking like undergrad window here of like 18 to 21. I'm thinking he's somewhere in his 20s. Maybe he's 30. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But I love you going in and preparing this and being accountable, going, I'm not doing great in sales right now. And I think you know that. And it's stressing me out. I feel like I'm not pulling my weight. So I'd like to provide a short-term solution to that could maybe benefit both of us. I come off of sales. I work in the furniture side of this. I have the steadier schedule. I don't feel like I'm letting you down. And, I can finish up school here the next year. I would think anyone in charge would love any employee like doing something, not just quitting, forget the 2 weeks and quit, that just, hey, I can't do this. I'm totally stressed out. Like, you are handling this just in the alone in an incredibly mature way, which I think any employer, and we're talking about the owner and your boss, would appreciate. He may even say, hey, you're actually not doing that bad on sales. I love what you're doing. Worry about it. Maybe there's some leniency. Maybe this is just about you mentally getting past the anxiety you have about feeling you're not doing as good at your job in letting people down. Maybe there ends up being some reassuring thing here where you stay on the same program and it's fine. Or maybe he's like, yeah, that makes a ton of sense. You aren't great at sales, but I love that you want to stay with the company, finish up school, revisit it. And now you'll have had all this experience. And when you can focus solely on the sales thing, like, you're keeping that window open too. So I don't see the downside here. Unless the guy's just a jerk and he's going to make it a problem for you because that's what he's like, but you haven't given us any of those indicators. So I'm assuming that you kind of get along enough. So if the email is like, should you not do this because you're worried about his reaction? My guess would be you being this accountable and mature about it and presenting a solution to the dilemma is going to be something he's thrilled with, that you've thought about this and care this much to go through this exercise.
Yeah, my wife did this like almost 2 years ago. She was in sales, sometimes hit the goal, sometimes didn't. She didn't love the feeling of like what you have to do in that sort of situation, like really just hounding people and upselling and all that stuff. And she pitched basically a new role, got it, and is now working her way back into getting some commission on the side. Like, it was just literally the perfect thing. She like laid out the plan like you had. They were like, yeah, fuck it, let's give it a shot. And she like excelled in it. And, they're bringing it back around. It's like, we'd like to be able to like sprinkle some commission into the stuff that you're doing now. And it's just all worked out. It was like a total success story. And it's basically, she had the same plan this person has, is just like lay out the reasons for this, rather than just saying it's not working out for me. And I think if you do it this way, there's probably is a chance that, he'll consider you for a sales position. But, especially like this guy said, if, in school part-time, but, scraping together everything that he can. Crown Jewel is not cheap, by the way, still on fire, real estate wise. And if you're commission based, you're basically like working for free half the time, right? And no one wins. The company doesn't win, you don't win. I think, yeah, just so you could focus up and get everything lined up. I think just the way that you approach that is probably going to determine how much freedom you'll have in the future if you want to go back. So I think that's correct. Just say everything you want to say concisely.
I think everything you guys said is valid. The only thing is the guy going to school. Like, is it in his long-term future to stay at this company? Like if you tell the guy, hey, I'm going, does he know you're going to school right now? Maybe he didn't. If he doesn't know that, is that going to create like kind of a bigger problem for you? Because he's like, hey, dude, what the hell? Like, this is you're supposed to be. This is your priority. And then
what the H? If he's
but then even like, what is your plan to get your degree and stay there too? Because that's only going to help you. Like if you're looking to get your degree and then bounce from this place, I don't know what you're like. I feel like your plan long term probably has to be somewhat aligned with the current employer, just so they're on board with this. But if that's all on the table for you and you want to do that, and you're just trying to kind of get a one leg up in your career here by getting an additional degree, then yeah, I think this is a no brainer.
There's also something else to remind everybody about sales projections is that usually it's what number can we come up with that we don't think they'll get.
Right.
So that they'll be like the one guy who gets it. Because if you set the projection at 75%, or you set it at a realistic number, like all the different things that you could do, it's just a reminder. And he may not, I don't know if he would tell you that or not, or if this is your first experience where he's like, hey, actually nobody in the department's hitting their number, but it sounds like you still just don't feel like you're doing a great job of that. But I remember like first time hearing about how a department would go and next year we're going to double it. And then all this, gosh, it's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just some human nature thing of like, if you're chasing this number, you're more likely to get closer to it as opposed to just everybody in a department being like, hey, here's a realistic number that everybody can get. And that'll be a really good year for us. Then people will just shut down once they get closer to that number that you set lower. So that might be part of the learning experience from this whole thing too. But I can't imagine an employer and again, owner of the company wouldn't appreciate you again, caring and presenting him with a solution as opposed to like, hey, I'm not good at my job. What do I do now? And then it's just adding to his plate. So I would think this would go really well. That's it. All right. We got it. All right. A couple of easy ones, banging it out, changing lives. Thanks to Kyle. Thanks to Cerruti. Thanks to Oregon. Big podcast for you today. On Friday, we'll run a full episode of Friday Feedback, which will also be up on our YouTube page, which we would encourage you to subscribe to, and also the podcast, Ryen Russillo, Ringer, Spotify.